Yes, we're back with Wednesday's edition of 67 Hail Hail on YouTube. I'm Hamish Carton, David Walton with me once again.
Glad to be here, Hamish, right?
Right, we're going to have a wee chat about Callum McGregor. This is following on from some kind of interesting comments, I thought anyway, that Neil Lennon made on Thursday. That's last Thursday. He was asked by a member of the press whether he felt that Callum McGregor was going to be, almost a shoe-in, or certainly a candidate for the next Celtic captain once Scott Brown retires. Lennon quoted as saying, "I think he would be a very good candidate." So he didn't give a great deal away, but he also did say a lot without saying a lot. So we're going to have a chat about whether we think Callum McGregor is going to be the next Celtic captain, what has to happen for him to be Scott Brown's successor, and we'll just see where the conversation goes, basically.
Well, first of all, with regards to Scott Brown, he's actually been on record when he signed the new deal as saying this is my last one.
Yep.
He is. So when that deal expires at the end of next season, that's when we would likely be looking at having a new captain. Obviously, whether Brown actually, makes a U-turn in that decision, you never know. But if you're looking at the end of next season, McGregor would certainly have been here long enough. Yeah. I'm struggling to find other candidates and I look through the team, if I'm being honest with you.
Well, that's the point I'd make straight away. We're not going to sign a player to be a captain. That just doesn't happen.
You do have the likes of Ayer and Julian, who, if they're still here, could potentially be captains with their experience. And Ayer's been here a while too.
Can I put my Brexit hat on for a minute?
Right, go for it.
Does the captain have to be Scottish?
No.
Is he better if he's Scottish?
Aye.
So
that's probably what
we're getting accused of all sorts here, but I just don't know. I like the Celtic captain to be Scottish. I know that's probably the most backward comment you'll ever hear in your life.
Ideally, I can see why people, and I'm of that sort of group too, why people like their captain to have grown up in the environment and to have sort of been a Celtic supporter all their years. I think it makes sense. It's not a racist thing to say that, Secondly, if it's not that, ideally it's someone who's been in this country for a while and who understands what Celtic are about and the pressures here. That's why I threw Ayer's name into the mix, and maybe even Julian.
Julian's
if
a leader.
Get to that. He is a leader, but I mean, who else better than McGregor? From what he's experienced highs and lows at Celtic. He's treble winner, and he also missed that penalty in the Scottish Cup semi-final to Rangers, remember? So he's experienced the low and the highs at Celtic. Now, the problem you've got there, Hamish, is whether he'll be a Kieran Tierney Mark II, and whether we think we're going to have McGregor all this time only for someone, a particular Northern Irishman down in England to come and pluck him.
Yeah, well, they were certainly interested. They put in an inquiry, not an offer, but an inquiry in the summer. So Leicester clearly want him.
Well, they're reportedly willing to pay £20 million for me. If they offer that, I think Celtic bite the hand off.
I think you're looking for more. 25.
Well, do you think Peter would get 25 out of it, or do you not think he'd go for £20 million?
I think he'd get 25.
Well, do you think that Kieran Tierney is a more useful player to have than Callum McGregor, or do you think so?
I think McGregor's more important to us than Tierney was. I would argue maybe Tierney's a slightly better player, and I know if Leicester are bidding for him, they're not taking into account, Celtic really need him a lot, but we can take that into account. We can say, this guy's like our vice captain, he's one of our top players, we want that for him. But I think it's the fee's almost irrelevant when it comes to this conversation. Our question is, would he go or would he stay? Because it's almost assumed with these players nowadays that they'll go because, Callum McGregor wanted to play in the English Premier League like Stuart Armstrong did, like Tierney is, like all the players before him. We
do see that, and that was kind of my point there. But McGregor, of course, has his comments about wanting to stay at Celtic for the rest of his career. And I
actually think there may be some sort of value in them. I don't think he's just towing the party line. I think he may actually mean that.
Is every player we sign going to go for higher than the one sold before? That's the thing. Is that the plan here? Because for me, Kieran Tierney was a better player than Callum McGregor. I thought Kieran Tierney was absolutely sensational for a left back to have the Arsenal, pardon the pun, that he did.
Very good.
I think it was incredible. McGregor for me is such a talent, such a tremendous footballer himself, but I do think Tierney was valued more in this Celtic team.
Right. So in terms of the captain debate, because you know, it's worthwhile that you brought up Tierney, because people thought maybe Tierney was going to be a future captain. That's probably switched on to McGregor now. So will we see the same again? I think it's a very interesting one, because, as I say, people always talk about the wonderful world of the English Premier League, but being captain for Celtic and being not a shoe-in, but, you know, a very good candidate, as a very good candidate, as Neil Lennon said, to be the next Celtic captain, that's not a bad thing either. You know, you probably, when you're the captain, you probably become the highest earner, because you know, Scott Brown's wage isn't going to be there anymore, so he's probably talking 30 grand a week, which is a good, I know it's not all about the money, but it's a good living to make. He's going to have the honour of, or he could have the honour of captaining the club to trophies in Europe, Champions League, all that kind of stuff. And you can also make yourself a legend. Scott Brown is going to be a Celtic legend when he hangs up his boots, no matter what happens with 9 and 10 in a row. For me, he's still, well, the trophies, the Invincible season, treble, he's going to be a legend. Would he be a legend at any club if he'd gone down south? No, for me. So Callum McGregor's got to look at that and go, what do I want here? Do I want to play in the English Premier League, or do I want to be a Celtic legend?
It's so similar to Tierney, though, because Tierney had all that on his plate as well. Everyone was looking at Tierney, looking at him as a potential future cap. There's no way Tierney didn't have that in the back of his mind when he was at Celtic. It's whether the player himself can bring himself to turn down such incredible life-changing money, real life-changing money down in England. By the way, they don't get pennies at Parkhead, but you know, the money gets a different scale down. It's whether Callum could bring himself to reject that one day. Such a tough market. Football's changed so much when it comes to transfers.
I think Scott Brown, I could be wrong in saying this, but I'm sure he had a big bid in for him. I think it was 9 million for Spurs a year or two after he signed. I don't know if that bid was accepted or what, but whatever happened, Scott Brown could have gone to England at a few points in his Celtic career, and he didn't. I would love for McGregor to do that. I mean, I know he would say I never got to play in England, but what he could say on the flip side is, look, all these trophies I won, look, all these Champions League nights I played for Celtic, captain Celtic.
Yeah, I mean, it could mean so much to
we
me.
Do ourselves down a lot of the time, I think, in Scottish football and with Celtic, and I think captaining Celtic for me is a bigger honour, and I know I'm a Celtic fan, but it's a bigger honour than playing in the English Premier League.
Yeah,
no doubt.
Definitely. If you're asking us what one you'd rather have, you know.
Exactly.
But if what about James Forrest? Are we cruelly overlooking James
Captain.
Forrest? Are we cruelly
overlooking
him?
If you're suggesting James Forrest is captain, I'm leaving this room
right
now.
You're talking about.
Are you saying James Forrest?
You're talking about a player. We're talking about captain candidates, aren't we? You're talking about a player that's been here. Why is he not a captain? Why is he not?
I like James Forrest a lot, but he's not a captain.
Why is he not a captain?
Because
do you think James Forrest can't go to a player and say X, Y, and Z about the game?
He's not that type. No, for me.
McGregor is.
Yes.
How?
Just different personalities for me.
Do you know them well?
I know James actually quite well.
And he doesn't fancy it now.
He's a quiet wee guy.
He's a quiet wee guy. I mean, if you're talking about experience, you talk about a guy who's done all at Celtic, then James Forrest is right up there. You could be right. He might not have the character, but I mean,
you think he should be in the conversation?
Aye, I don't see why not. If you, like you're saying, Scottish, brought up in it, knows all about the game. You might be right, his personality. I don't personally know James Forrest. He might be quiet. He might not like to tell, you know, big centre backs that they've made an arse or something. But I mean, it feels to me disrespectful. You just sort of dismiss him, you know.
Oh, sorry, James, if you're watching. Apologies. I wanted to bring up Barcelona example. You know, they had Carlos Puyol, this brilliant captain for them. He retires. They bring in Xavi. He retires. They bring in Iniesta. Or not retires, but he moves on to Japan or whatever, and then Messi after that. So that's a brilliant model to have. That, you know,
but there's
continual progression.
But you're talking about these kind of players. Barcelona didn't really have a step up from Barcelona, did they? I totally get that. I'm just saying, I totally get that. But is there then an argument then that your Celtic captain has to be good, but not good enough that he's going to go to England? You know the point I'm getting at? That's a great point. I mean,
so the captain wouldn't be Virgil van Dijk, for example, or Wanyama, because you know they're not going to be there for long. The captain has to be a Stephen McManus or someone like that.
I mean, I don't have to be, but I mean, ideally your captain's not going to be in the door for 5 minutes and then out again, you know. It's such a difficult decision, the captain. People think it's so black and white who the next captain should be, but I think it really takes some careful decision making. I really do. McGregor looks to be right in there after Lennon's comments, and I don't expect him to have left the club in 18 months. Hopefully not. So
no, definitely.
We'll see. But I think if you're if you're offering favourites, then I think it would be McGregor. I would.
Just on the flip side, and you may not have an answer for this, is there any players, obvious players, Scotland, England, that you think we could sign and could be a captain for, as you can think of? John McGinn was one folks spoke about. We're not going to sign John McGinn now. Turnbull, was he a captain material?
I mean, we're talking about Motherwell players now that haven't even signed for Celtic. I mean, no thanks. I mean, you have to.
So it's someone at the club for you.
You can't just waltz in and be the Celtic captain.
No, I agree with you. I think that's a fair point. It has to be someone that's ingrained.
Hold on. Wait a minute. So I say James Forrest, you're going to walk out of the room, and then you mentioned David Turnbull, a Motherwell midfielder who hasn't played for about a year as a potential captain.
Yes, that's pretty much it in a nutshell, mate. Anyway, just wanted to bring up McGregor captained the team, obviously, in the cup, the Betfred Cup game against Partick Thistle. Celtic posted this really good video, and it's McGregor doing the normal Scott Brown thing of when they're about to do their warm up, they're about to go out, and he turns around to everyone and goes, "Right, we're ready." And I thought, for me, that was a fitting sign that he's clearly the vice captain behind Brown at the moment, and surely that kind of suggests, if he's doing all that stuff, are Celtic, gearing this guy up in the background to be Brown's successor?
I don't know if there's much of that. I don't think Lennon's pulled him aside or anything and said, "You're going to be our captain when Brown retires." When you're the vice captain, it's a natural step up, isn't it? I don't see anyone in 18 months who could come in and just overtake McGregor. And I mean, he is a vice captain. I wouldn't look too much into saying right to the boys before they go out or anything like that. But
it just struck me because it was the same thing as Brown does.
I think the fact he's had experience of being the captain is going to help him. Put it that way, and I think you're right. You're right. He's a favourite. Can't say any more than that. He is a favourite.
Perfect. Anything else to add? Is that you all talked out?
Jimmy has to be a candidate.
Jimmy
has to be a candidate.
Jimbo for me.
Just end it there.
Aye, I will. Before I end it though, I'll just let you know, as I have before and after and during every episode we've done already this week, I'm tired of saying it, so would you just follow us please? Twitter, we're at 67 Hail Hail. Facebook, you can just search for it as well, 67 Hail Hail. If you've not yet subscribed on the YouTube, do that. We also do a podcast. It comes out similar style to this on Boys v Blue Noses, it's called. It's Celtic and Rangers, so we get to rub it in at the moment. And boy, are we doing a lot of that. Aye. So if you want to see us taking it to a couple of them, then go for that as well. Boys v Blue Noses, as I say. Give it a subscribe there, subscribe on our channel, and we're back for one more episode tomorrow, the day of the game against Copenhagen, and we'll be looking ahead to that one.